Hi, hello. This is future Andrew from the future editing this video. And I just want to make a couple pointers to you before we get into this, okay? This video is not meant to be disrespectful. It's satire, it's a joke, but it does deliver helpful information. The goal with this video is to basically give a honest review of a career field that I took part in, right? So if you like the video, leave a like. If you think I'm being disrespectful, put a stick up your ass, because it's supposed to be funny, right? If you don't find it funny, click off of it. But again, the goal of the video is to tell you how it's supposed to be, how it was for me. That way you can get actual helpful information from this video rather than watching some dude on YouTube explain how, oh, it's amazing, and then you get there and it's a piece of shit and you want to kill yourself. So I'm going to go finish editing this video, but thank you and enjoy. Lifeguarding. What are the do's and don'ts, the shoulds and woulds? How do I prepare for it? What will I learn? What am I tested on before I get my certification? All that and more on this month's episode of Job Fair. Hi, my name is Andrew, and I've worked a lot of different jobs in my 21 years of existence. And what I want to do is I'm making a series where I am taking my experiences in the real world with my job and putting them out there on the internet for you, the viewer, to basically learn from. So you don't have to go in LinkedIn and Indeed to basically search for jobs and then Google a YouTube video of some dude who's an expert in it, and now you're even more confused on what you're going to do. I have a wide variety of topics that I can cover, but today we're going to cover the most important one out of them all, which is lifeguarding. Lifeguarding is truly an art form, and I despise it in every way, shape, and form. It's one of the things that I'm really good at, but hate doing. I hate working. I hate doing anything that involves lifeguarding. That's a joke. I really do enjoy it, but it depends on who you work for, like most places. But I do love talking about it because I'm very educated in it. I have a lot of experience with it, and I am capable of conveying information in a way that is helpful to you, the viewer. To assist me with this today, I have a really shitty whiteboard, and it's going to cover 7 different things, right? So we have lifeguarding in the introduction. All right, that's going to give you a baseline of what a lifeguard is, what they do, and everything in between. Then we're going to move on to the prerequisites. All right, this is what you need to prepare, what you should be able to do, and how much money you're going to have to fork over to the greedy fucks who are going to certify you. Then we're going to move into your education. This is what you're going to cover during the course. And then you're going to move into your responsibilities, daily life, and then there's a small section that I did not write in here that is a Q&A. So these are all the questions that I would have asked when I was starting out, questions that you, the viewer, might ask. I will answer all of them and everything that I think about, everything in between. If the video finishes and you're still confused or you want to know something, comment it below. This is my first video, so be prepared to wait like 4 days for me to respond because I'm absolutely clueless about this shit. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. So, what is a lifeguard, right? So a lifeguard is a qualified aquatic individual that your facility or company that you like to go to that has a pool, water park, waterfront, lake, or ocean employs to make sure that they don't get fucking sued. That's basically it. Now, obviously, I'm being a little facetious, a little funny about this right here. But basically, they're there to protect you and nothing else, okay? A lot of people get this mixed up, like, oh, they're telling my kid to stop running. The lifeguard's a piece of shit. No, he's telling your kid to stop running because if he doesn't, he could fall and hurt himself, and then that's more work for the lifeguard, and I promise you we do not want to deal with that. Also, you are a absolutely shitty parent. Basically, all in all, right, to wrap things up, to not piggyback off of myself, and any other transition that you can think of, lifeguards are basically there to prevent drowning or other serious bodily harm that it can be inflicted on oneself, or other people, or animals, or vice versa. And we'll get into that all at the end of this wonderful episode. So, lifeguards are commonly found at water parks, waterfronts, lakes, oceans, rivers, maybe. I don't know. I'm not from the hillbilly areas of the United States, so I don't know if they have lifeguards on rivers. They probably don't. Or, most commonly, pools. Now, a lifeguard's responsibilities are going to vary a little bit, and we'll get there eventually. But they're going to vary depending on where they are, because obviously, if you work at Taco Bell and you get put at a McDonald's, you're not going to know what the fuck to do because you worked at Taco Bell and not McDonald's. All right, you're used to making quesadillas, and now you got to make my fucking McGriddle and fill my large iced tea all the way up with ice, so I basically get a small. You greedy fucks. So let's get into the prerequisites, right? I'm going to put this out here. It may come as a surprise, may be very shocking. I recommend the average viewer to sit down for this. You need to learn how to swim. You need to learn how to swim. If you don't know how to swim, you need to learn how to swim. If you already can swim, I'll break into what you need to do before you actually go into your education part of this. But for the people who don't know how to swim, who really want a lifeguard, for the people who don't know how to swim and they just watch Baywatch and they want to get all the Latina baddies, start swimming. All right. On YouTube, you can find a lot of guides that'll help you help you out with swimming. They'll give you beginner routines, beginner workouts if you're not that versed in swimming already. At the very least, you got to be able to doggy paddle. And if you're going to doggy paddle when you go get your lifeguard certification, you better doggy paddle really fucking fast. All right, that's basically all I'm going to say about that, right? Another thing that goes into the prerequisites is nutrition, okay? The last thing anybody wants to see when they go to the pool with their grandma who's 90 fucking years old, right, and is on her last damn breath, is to look up and see a lifeguard who's fucking lost in the sauce, absolutely blitzed, obliterated, because they cannot keep their lips off of a beer can or liquor bottle or wine bottle, okay? The last thing that we need is for a lifeguard to go in there to try and save an elderly woman, young man, adolescent child, and be too sauced up to do so, and then they drown, and then you go to jail for negligence or the inability to act. All right, that's a little fun term. You can get charged legally for the shit that you do not do. You want to eat healthy, right? You want to drink good liquids, Powerade, Gatorade, water, like weeks, months, however long you want to prepare, however long you need to prepare. You want to eat good foods, right? High protein, protein-dense foods, a lot of fiber, basically everything that you need to survive. Imagine if you were an athlete or a collegiate athlete or high school athlete. You want to eat how you're supposed to or how those athletes do, right? A lot of people don't realize that when you go to be a lifeguard, it's not just sitting on the tower. And I understand that it's pretty difficult to hear me say this to you, the viewer, because, oh, well, when I go to the pool, there's the lifeguard there that's like fucking 400 pounds. She's been in the fucking lifeguard tower, and that bitch takes all the water out the pool when she jumps in. I understand, and we'll get into that with the Q&A session that we're going to do at the end of the video. Please prepare adequately, right? When I first got certified as a lifeguard at 15, a lot of the people that were with me dropped out because they could not swim at all. In fact, they just signed up and paid $200 to get sent home, which is wild. I've also had people that go hypoxic, which is when you don't have enough oxygen in your blood because they're not used to swimming or working out. So please prepare adequately. For your education, it's going to be broken down into two phases, right? You have the written portion, well, three actually. You have the written portion, the classroom portion, and then you have the physical portion. Okay, now the written portion is going to be your tests, your exams, your oral exams, right? You're not getting head, you're not getting filleted. You just need to tell people what you're going to do so they make sure that you understand the subjects that are being covered. And then, again, you have your written exams. For the classroom portions, you're basically going to sit in a hopefully air-conditioned room with dim lighting or an actual college campus or pool, and you're going to be taught everything that you need to know. You're going to go through the American Red Cross book, which is about 400 to 500 pages of wildly useless information. I'm joking. Very good information, but it's hefty, okay? Most lifeguard courses that are civilian ran go for about 2 to 3 days, so you're gonna cram. Be prepared to want to kill yourself a little bit. And then you're going to move on to the water portion or the physical portion of your exam for your certification. This is going to involve swimming, a lot of maybe physical training, intensive training, right? You're going to practice your rescues, your techniques, your breathing techniques, active, passive, submerged, spinal victims, everything under the sun. And then you're also going to go into CPR and first aid, which you have to know before you become a lifeguard in the event that someone goes unconscious. Congratulations, you have passed your lifeguard certification. Now, let's get into some of your responsibilities. Now we're going to get into some of the responsibilities, all right? This is the part of the video where we start to get into the realm of the fun zone, because the responsibilities that you, the lifeguard, are going to undertake are extremely facility dependent. What do I mean by that? Well, it depends on a couple things. One, if you are staffed correctly, you are overstaffed, that's the best case scenario for you. And The other factor is if your management is not a bunch of dickheads. Now, fortunately for you, I experienced the worst possible combination, which was understaffed and complete dickhead management. Now, it may come as a surprise for many, but this is not Baywatch, okay? You're not going to sit in the tower or be on the sand or the pool deck or the beach and just get this nice suntan. You're going to get sunburnt. You're not going to be hydrated with Modelo's wine and liquor. You're going to be dehydrated after you just drank a gallon of water. And you are most certainly not going to have a bunch of thick Latina baddies rubbing up against you while you elegantly run in to save somebody who's not really in danger, okay? Now, like I said before, I had the worst of both worlds. I had low staff and also shitty management. So your responsibilities are going to vary, all right? For me, I not only was lifeguarding, but I was also managing wildlife. I learned how to fight raccoons, birds, move bird nests. I learned how to destroy and move beehives. I know how to do plumbing now. I also know how to clean up shit and piss that was in the grass or locker room very effectively, all right? I'll teach you all the methods if you really want to know. I also know how to handle hazardous chemicals. I know how to do meteorology by looking at my weather app and telling people that, you know, we can't have them here because it's a tornado watch. I know how to tell people how to fuck off. But what I'm getting at here is that there's a couple possibilities now that you're a lifeguard, right? Either A, you get employed at this wonderful establishment that has amazing management, great hire staff, and that you are overstaffed with the amount of lifeguards that you have at that facility. And what this is going to do for you is your sole purpose is now going from everything under the sun, but it's just going to be lifeguarding, right? You're going to switch every 15 to 30 minutes, every position that you have around your waterfront, and it's going to be great, right? You'll have your occasional rescue, you'll have, you know, helping a kid, helping a mom, you might have to, you know, assist in the birth of a child. It's a fun time. Or you can have a really good management system and terribly understaffed, which makes working there barely enjoyable, right? Because now you're getting fucked, but your staff is great. Or you can also have overstaffed but terrible management, which is funny, slightly more enjoyable than the previous option because now you can just make fun of your leadership. Or you can have what I have, which is understaffed and just fucking terrible management, okay? Normally, you're responsible for pool chemicals, and you're also responsible for lifeguarding. And then you have your opening and closing tasks, right? Which is like opening the pool, making sure the filters aren't clogged, you know, turning the lights on maybe if it's early lap swim for the old fucks that like to come in and challenge God with their pacemakers that they just had installed. And then you have your closing tasks, which are, you know, closing down, shutting off the lights, right? Mopping, stuff like that, general cleaning, but it doesn't really get too in depth. You will do basically anything that your management tells you to do, all right? I managed a fucking snack shack concession stand for the first 2 months that I was working as a lifeguard on top of my other responsibilities, right? I've done a lot of things as a lifeguard that a lot of people do not understand, or maybe they thought they were going to get trained for, right? And I know what you're saying, right? Oh, Andrew, the American Red Cross didn't train me to pick up shit off of the floor. Yes, it did. It did. The hazardous materials, whatever the fuck you have to clean up, there are spill kits for that. What American Red Cross does not teach you is how to deal with 200-pound 6'5" Samoan guys who are threatening you because you yelled at your kid. And it also doesn't train you how to work a fucking concession stand at 15 and a half years old. So that's going to be your responsibilities section for this video, okay? It's not going to get much better than that. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You're not going to work with fucking Zac Efron and The Rock and insert generic Latina baddie. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's your responsibilities. So now we're going to move into the daily life section, right? I'm going to tell you what my daily life was like as a lifeguard so that you, the viewer, who just passed their American Red Cross exam, can get an idea of what you're going to get yourself into. I worked for a very understaffed and very shitty company, very shitty pool that had a lot of shitty management. Everything was shitty, and you could definitely see that with the people who worked there because we all wanted to kill ourselves. You know what American people say? You know, well, I stand by it. If it doesn't want to make you kill yourself at least 2 times a day, is it really a good job, right? Are you really invested in it? If your coworkers aren't your ride or dies, If you can't trust them to cover up the fact that you killed somebody, are they really your coworkers, right? Our scheduling for my pool was done on a fucking mobile app, which has all sorts of problems that you can already think of. So I would fill out my schedule, and I would pick the dates I wanted to work, and I didn't have a fucking car because I was 15. And my manager, like I said, shitty management staff, being the shitty management staff that they are, would move the shifts without telling me, and then I'd be fucked and miss my shift and get written up. Now, did I care about getting written up? No, because I was 15 and a half, and all I wanted to do was save up for Halo 5, but that's to be expected. Now, you're going to run into this a lot less if you have a paper schedule or it's doctrined in some way where there are higher echelon of people are supervising it, but just be prepared. I would make my way to work, and let's assume this time it's sunny. I would grab my little hip pack with all my goodies inside of it, and I would grab a tube, I'd clock in, and I would start working. And this was great. Every 15 minutes, I'd rotate. There was 3 stations, so 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off. I'd take a break, hit the vape a little bit, and get back onto it. Now, occasionally, you will have people that go down or need assistance. I've never had a passive victim until I got older, much older, so I'm now 21. But you will have people that need assistance. I'd have to help them. I'd have to change the chemicals, balance the chemicals, create the fucking chemicals, mix up the chemicals on site. I did a lot of illegal things at that job. But that's just basically it. Occasionally, there was people that wanted to fight me. There were people who thought they were entitled. I once had a woman who took up 4 handicap spots at one time. I still don't know how you did that. Jackie, you bitch. But it's just a great time. I go to work, I do my job, and I leave. Do not expect to get out on time. This is another thing that I want to cover in my Q&A area next, but do not expect to get out on time. If anybody has worked food service that is watching this video and said, I want to be a lifeguard, I hope I changed your mind. But you're dependent on people, right? Much like food service, your in time is exact, your exit time is to be determined, right? People do not want to leave. If it's a nice summer day, people do not want to leave, right? They fail to realize that the pool is open the next day, and they will not leave. So just understand that. So now we're gonna move into the Q&A section, the most entertaining section of them all. Okay, you've made it. Welcome to the Q&A portion of my lifeguarding video. We're going to get into some of the more common questions. A lot of questions that I wish I knew the answer to back when I got hired as a fucking lifeguard. Alright? To start off, we're going to answer one of the most common ones. Okay? Will you get paid? Obviously you'll get paid. Alright? It's whatever your state's minimum wage is. If the facility you work at are not pieces of shit, right, they'll pay you a little more than that. When I worked, it was minimum wage, right? Because again, I worked for pieces of shit, and I made $8.15 an hour. Ohio was going through it in 2017, 2018. The next question we're going to cover is, how much does it cost to be lifeguard certified? Listen up, people. It's America. Shit's not free, and they will definitely dig up your dead family member to get the money that they owe. So let's be real here. For me, it was about $150, maybe $200, maybe, right? It's facility dependent, right? Everybody has to get paid at the end of the day, right? And your certification is not fucking free, okay? So be prepared to drop 300 beans to get certified at the most, all right? If the only pool near you is like offering, like the only pool near you is offering a lifeguard certification at like $400, go work at McDonald's, go work at Trader Joe's, go be a drug mule, all right? It's because you're gonna make a lot more money doing that than you are lifeguarding, but just be prepared for the cost. Mr. Andrew, do I have to deal with people? Absolutely you have to deal with people. Now for me, I love talking to people because I love being a dickhead sometimes, okay? My whole philosophy with working is that if you're gonna be nice to me, I'll respect you and be nice to you back, but the second that you're a piece of shit to me, I will be more than a piece of shit to you back in return. Now, lifeguarding, you will have to deal with amazing people, all right? Amazing people. What do I mean by this? Well, you're going to have to yell at kids. You're going to have to yell at kids a lot. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I implore you to get employed yourself as a lifeguard, and you will understand what I'm talking about. On top of dealing with whiny, bitchy kids, you're also going to have to deal with people and their parents and the disrespectful assholes that just go there to sit in the sun and not actually get in the pool. Is there anything wrong with paying a membership fee to go to a pool, or paying a one-time entrance to go into a pool to just suntan? Absolutely not. But when you make it other people's problem and you're a danger to yourself and other patrons there, it does become a problem, and you need to learn how to handle that. There's no class that teaches you how to deal with people. American Red Cross recommends that you gently nudge them in the right direction for them to stop bitching at you or being an asshole. But 9 out of 10 times, if you get a disruptive person, you're either going to solve it or you're going to call the cops, or you're going to call the management staff, right? I never called the management staff because I never did shit when I worked there. I always called the cops, but it's up to you. It's really personal preference, but just be prepared that sometimes you're going to have to get dirty, all right? Andrew, why is it that when I go to the pool and I see the lifeguards there, why do they weigh 300 pounds? Why do they weigh 400 pounds? Why does this woman or man look like one of the beasts from Where the Wild Things Are? Why does their body weight bend the tower? Why does their body have rolls? I don't know. Okay, that's a wonderful question we're gonna get into here. I don't fucking know. I say numerous times throughout this video that Baywatch is not realistic. You should know this. If you don't know that it's not realistic, you should not apply to this job. But if there's one thing you should take from Baywatch, it's that you should strive to look like the actors in the show. Now, do you have professional training and a meal chef and others? No, but that's how you should attempt to look like when you're employed here as a lifeguard. I don't know how they got their certification. I don't know if it was pencil whipped. I don't know if they just bought someone or paid somebody off to get it. I really don't fucking know. But what I can tell you is do not look like them. Please do not look like them. It gives bad impression to your patrons, and it does not inspire confidence, right? A lot of things that I would do when I swam was I would swim when I was off duty before I actually went on duty, so that people knew that I could actually swim. That way, when I went up on the tower, I was roving or doing anything that I needed to do, people had confidence that they could send their kid or themselves into the pool and be fine. I don't understand how they got their certifications, but I will say this. To play devil's advocate here, bigger people, right, larger human beings, technically float a lot better, right? And if you have a 6'8", 300-pound Samoan unit of a specimen, right, that's at the bottom of the pool, it's going to be a lot easier for that bigger person to float them up to the surface and get them out of the pool. Am I saying I couldn't do that? Absolutely not, all right? I'm the boss, right? Excuse me. I know what I'm doing. But take it with a grain of salt. Now, if the person looks like Blob from Monsters vs. Aliens, I would definitely ask the upper management there to get rid of them, because that's pretty embarrassing. Do you, as a lifeguard, have to deal with wildlife? The answer is yes. All right. Again, this is largely facility dependent. Maybe you have somebody where you work, where you're going to work, that can deal with the wildlife on its own, but 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be the lifeguard that has to deal with it. Remember, in the people and the patrons' eyes, you are Jesus Christ, okay? You are the solver of all problems, all right? The Oppenheimer of the aquatic world that they live in, right? You are going to be called upon to do stupid shit all of the fucking time. For this example, I'll use a beehive, right? At our pool, one of them was an outdoor pool, and there was a tetherball court, which is a pole that swings a ball around on it. And bees overnight had decided to infest a giant fucking pole, and there was a giant beehive, and we had yellow tape around it saying, "Do not go." But the kids are retarded. The kid was retarded. The kids are retarded. Everybody's retarded. He went there. He got stung. They lit him up, and I had to drag the kid away. And the dumbass did not smack the bee that was stinging him, so all the bees followed us, and then it became a terrible situation. But you will deal with wildlife. You will be charged with dealing with the wildlife. Now, here's the exception, right? If you are told to get rid of a bee's nest, for example, and they do not supply you Raid or some sort of wasp spray, do not deal with it, okay? That's above your pay grade, right? The last thing I want to see you do is get lit up by a bunch of bees because you thought you were Tom Hanks. Or wait, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, I think it's the dude from Top Gun going to fight a bee's nest with a can of water. All right, it's just terrible. Don't do it. Do not risk your life for it. Now, at the beginning of the video, right, I explained how you might get charged legally for things, right? What do I mean by this? Well, if you see someone while you're on duty, right? You're in your chair, you're roving, you're at a stationary position, maybe you're at a water park, maybe a lakefront or a beach getaway, an island getaway, right? If you see somebody that is in need of help, they are a distressed victim, they are submerged, you can see them, etc., and you do not help them because you think you don't know how, you can get charged, right? And this is assuming people see it, right? You will get charged with negligence, okay? I don't know how fucked up you get from that in court, but I know it's not great. I know it's not a good time. Don't try and do that shit. You can also get charged with the inability to act, which is like, I guess if you pull somebody out, I don't know how to phrase that. But you can get charged legally. Remember this, if you don't take anything away from this video, which I hope you would, remember this. It is always better to do something than to not do anything, right? When people swim in the water, right, they're not exercising, they're not having a good time. If they don't know how to swim, they're not doing those things, they're trying to survive. And if you don't help them, they will die, right? Water doesn't care how much you can lift in the gym. Water doesn't care about how fast you can run or if you were a star quarterback or you were this good at wrestling or football. It will kill you if you are not careful and if the proper precautions are not set. Yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the job fair. I'll be doing one of these soon for my pizza job, my pizza experience, and my Uber experience. But, as always, I hope that you enjoyed this wonderful educational time period, and I hope that you found that lifeguarding is the career for you. If it's not, please leave a like. It's not going to mean shit to my channel because I have 1 subscriber, but, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this was a lot more educational, a lot more real, and, a lot more transparent than a lot of people would be. So, thank you.